AEW Forbidden Door is live this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern on pay-per-view. What a show it's going to be. The first ever Forbidden Door event. And we are going to be talking about all the different things that are going to happen at this event. We have Surf Wrestling in the chat. MGT Liam27 telling me, will he remember to show up? Now we wait. I am here. Omar and Trevor, guys, let's go. Trevor's not here today, but I am here. Absolutely. Surf Wrestling saying Omar agreeing with me about Johnny Gargano. I'll get to Johnny Gargano in a little bit here, but AEW, New Japan, Forbidden Door. Do not give me a copyright strike, TV SIE. I did not use any New Japan stuff on this stream. So if you do, we're coming after you. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to talk about here. Most notably, we have some championship matches on this show. The AEW title is going to be defended, the AEW Women's World title, as well as the IWGP World's Heavyweight Championship, amongst many, many more. And everyone's actually in the chat. The chat's blown up a little bit. Liam says I'm actually here. Damn right I am. MGT, hello. Welcome. If you're here, guys, be sure to remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. So let's talk about AEW Forbidden Door in general first. This was the pay-per-view, the event, the super card that many people have been speculating is going to happen for years, and it's finally, by God, finally here. Liam says, I'm using my full name. Thank you. But anyway, this was the card everyone's been waiting for years for, and it's finally here. New Japan working with a major wrestling promotion for the first time since WCW. I'm sorry, ROH. But this is a big-time thing. They sold out 16,000 seats in the United Center in Chicago, Illinois, which is AEW country. Fight me on that one, WWE fans. But we have a big card to run through here. Let me just run through some of these matches. Pre-show, we got Platinum Max Caster and the Gun Club versus the DKC, Kevin Knight, Alex Coughlin, and Yuya Uemura. There we go. I said that name right. Also, we have a bunch of other matches. Zack Sabre Jr. versus to be announced. We'll talk about who his mystery opponent could be. Thunder Rosa taking on Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship. The Bullet Club versus the Dudes with Attitude. And Darby Allin, Sting, as well as Shingo Takagi and Takahashi. We're also going to be talking about FTR versus United Empire versus Roppongi Vice for both the ROH and the IWGP World Tag Team Championship. Will Ospreay taking on Orange Cassidy for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. Les Sex Gods reuniting with Minoru Suzuki to take on Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta, and Mino, Pac versus Miro versus Malachi Black versus Clark Connor to determine the first ever AEW All-Atlantic Champion. Jay White, Kazuchika Okada, Hangman Adam Page, Adam Cole do battle to determine the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. And, of course, the main event, the interim AEW World Championship. The dream match we've been waiting years to see. Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on Jon Moxley to determine who is going to hold that title in the place of CM Punk, who is injured, who is going to be out for a number of months. We already have some people in the chat. Surf Wrestling says, fun fact, before Gargano got booked for Chicago, he had people fooled on Twitch talking about WWE games. Yeah, he did. Surf Wrestling also says, and surprised Evil didn't debut too. Yeah. MGT says, this Forbidden Door pay-per-view may be cursed with all the latest injuries and the top names are not on the card. It is a cursed pay-per-view. Think about the names that you don't have on this card that people really wanted to see here. You had Bryan Danielson, you have people like CM Punk, and you're not going to see them on this card. It's just how the cookie crumbled this time around. It's unfortunate, but it's just kind of where we are in wrestling things. But considering the fact, it's still going to be a good pay-per-view. Like, this is still going to be a really good pay-per-view. The fact that we're getting Kazuchika Okada on American soil on a more widely broadcast and a bigger platform is insane to me, and I think it's going to be great. Surf Wrestling says, I'm already got my Clark Connors versus Adam Page match at Forbidden Door. You didn't get Clark. I mean, you didn't get Clark Connors versus Adam Page. You did get Clark Connors and Adam Page on the same show. So there you go. But Okada versus Page versus Cole and Jay White. White's championship is going to be crazy, crazy, crazy. We got Shingo Takagi too, guys. Come on now. All right. Let's go. Let's get into the card because I'm so excited for this. Let's start off with the pre-show match. And by the way, everyone, you're joining, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let me know who you guys think is going to win these matches as we go. We have the Gun Club versus the Gun Club and Platinum Max Caster taking on the OKC and Yuya Uemura. Again, not that familiar with some of the New Japan guys in this match. What I can say is that I am glad to see Daddy Ass back in action here in Billy Gunn. That's gonna be awesome to see. And again, here's the thing. I was a fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling for a while. I've been a fan for a while. When AEW kind of started, I did stop watching and I did stop paying attention. Now I still kept up with like Takagi and of course Tanahashi and all the stuff that he was doing. But it's weird because AEW or New Japan kind of fell into a weird place of they just weren't as hot, and I think like a lot of people, I kind of just what's it called? I tuned out. So there are a few people on this card that I'm not as familiar with that I'm excited to watch, that I am just hyped to see and see how they wrestle and what they are and what they can do. But if you guys know some of these people that I'm not as familiar with, put them in the chat. Let me know what to think of these guys. Let me know what to expect. 8-man tag team action here. Look, I know that this is going to be on the buy-in. This is going to be on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, AEW shop.com, whatever the hell. It's going to be everywhere. So they're going to do a lot of fun stuff in this match, and it's going to be crazy. I am expecting the New Japan guys to get the dub here. Because they're the faces. 2, because who doesn't want to see the Ass Boys get their butt kicked? And 3, because you want to make New Japan look a little strong going into this, because no matter what anyone tells you, they are going to be keeping score with some of the. I know some of these matches are like inter-promotional as well because they have both New Japan and AEW guys on the same team. But I really do think that there's going to be, on some of these AEW versus New Japan Strictly matches, there's going to be a little bit of tally and a little bit of scorekeeping about who's going to win. So I think you get New Japan over, you get people excited. Maybe there's a few people who haven't watched it or what have you and haven't been keeping up with it who watch the buy-in and are like, hey, let me check this out for a little bit, right? Let me check this out. So that's what I think. Surf Wrestling in the chat says, Yuya face Konosuke and Joshi wrestling before. Yo, can I talk about one thing? Like there's a lot of people who are talking about like some of these New Japan guys. The one person that I am really excited to see that I have not had a chance to see that much, especially as of late, is my boy Clark Connors. That's his name. Clark Connors. I just said it because I've heard about him. I know he had a stint in New Japan Strong. He did some stuff in New Japan Strong that I kind of saw, but I wasn't paying that close attention to. But but people tell me Clark Connors is a guy to watch out for, so I'm really excited to see that. But I say the faces go over on this one. I say New Japan goes over. Look for one of the ass boys to take the fall here, and look for Platinum Max Caster and Anthony Bowens to get a monstrous, thunderous reaction in Chicago. So I got New Japan winning this one. Here we go, getting right into it now. Zack Sabre Jr. versus 2B announced. The match that was originally supposed to be Bryan Danielson taking on Zack Sabre Jr. is now Zack Sabre Jr. versus, we don't know. So Bryan Danielson's dealing with a concussion apparently. He's going to be out for both Forbidden Door and Blood and Guts this Wednesday night on Dynamite. But he has said that there's going to be a replacement for both of those nights. It's going to be the same person, and we will find out exactly who that person is going to be live in Chicago at Forbidden Door. And Bryan Danielson did also say that this is going to be the best technical wrestling match ever. If that's the case, in my eyes, there's only two people this could be. And the overwhelming majority of the money should be and probably is going to be on Cesaro. Now, here's the thing. I know a lot of people want Cesaro. There's so many videos talking about why Cesaro's the guy. Everyone knows why. Free agent. He's got the history with Bryan Danielson. Perfect fit for the Blackpool Combat Club. I did a video today talking about why it should be Johnny Gargano. It should be Johnny Wrestling. He's in Chicago. He's responsible for some of the best feuds, some of the best matches in WWE history. Like, Gargano versus Ciampa is going to go down as the best. It's like, to me, it's the best feud of the entire century so far. The 22 years, in the past 22 years, it's the best feud in pro wrestling. Fight me on that. People can be like,
oh, I actually think that Triple H versus Batista was the best feud in professional wrestling.
that's fine. You know what the best part about pro wrestling is? You can think whatever the hell you want. It's a TV show, pal. But Gargano would get a monstrous reaction. It would be pretty much a surprise. A lot of people are already expecting it to be Claudio. But, man, if Gargano walks out and you know Mikey Ruckus, he's going to do like some amazing ripoff of Rebel Heart that's going to sound exactly the same but not be the same. And he's going to get all the bags of money that Danhausen tries to get. But come on, it's going to be amazing. Either way, like, if it's Claudio, if it's Johnny Gargano, either way, it's a big deal because that means AEW is getting another big signing, and we are getting a fantastic professional wrestling match between these two. Zack Sabre Jr., in a lot of people's eyes, in Dave Meltzer's eyes, best technical wrestler in the world. In my eyes, greatest technical wrestler of all time is Bryan Danielson. That is a match that will happen at some point. It just will not happen in Forbidden Door. Either way, I think you want to make sure that... Here's the thing. I'm torn on this one because I really do want Zack Sabre Jr. to come out of this looking strong and come out with a victory so that when his feud with Bryan Danielson eventually happens, or his match with Bryan Danielson eventually happens, there's already that thing of, like, you know, in the eyes of a lot of AEW fans, he has momentum because that's the last time they really saw him. But the other thing is, if you're going to have whoever this is, whether it's Claudio, whether it's Cesaro, whether it's someone like Timothy Thatcher, who MGT just mentioned, thank you for reminding me about that. It could be Timothy Thatcher. Whether it's any of those guys, you want them looking strong going into blood and guts if they're taking Bryan Danielson's place. Because remember, Forbidden Door happens on Sunday. Blood and guts, or as William Regal would say, blood and guts is going to be on a Wednesday. So you want that person to look like a threat. You want that person to be hot going into that match. So I know there's a lot of things at play. Given that, I do think that whoever it is, whoever this big surprise is going to be, you want them to come in and have a good debut as well. Whoever the surprise is going to be, they are going to come out with a victory over Zack Sabre Jr. in what is going to be an amazing professional wrestling match. So that's where I stand on that. Let me know who you guys think is going to win. I'm not going to say the 27, okay, Liam? Thank you. Liam in the chat says, as Seth, I actually think Rollins versus Reigns was the best feud. And there you go. You got your one Seth Rollins impersonation, guys. Are you happy? Oh, man. Yeah, so, I mean, we'll see what happens here. Surf Wrestling says, but Timothy Thatcher wouldn't win. Kushida, but he signed with New Japan. Yeah, I mean, Kushida would be cool, but, like, they built this up too much. Here's the thing. AEW knows exactly what they did. They built this up to way too much for this not to be someone new and someone who the fans will generally know. That's why I'm going with my gut of it's either Claudio or Gargano. But either way, we'll find out. And Surf Wrestling mentioned Bray Wyatt. I don't know. If it is, That's going to be an interesting combination with him and the Blackpool Combat Club. I mean, it'll be entertaining. Will I watch? Hell yeah, I want to watch. But we'll see. I don't think it's going to be Bray Wyatt, but we will see. As we move on to our next match. Again, guys, if you're joining us, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. And let me know who you guys think is going to win as we progress on this wonderful, wonderful Friday night right before Friday Night SmackDown, Michael. We fight on Friday night tomorrow. Liam in the chat also says, Zack Sabre Jr. waiting for his opponent. Whoa! It only fucking mirror. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the troll? I mean, they can't play that song. I think they actually still can play Cody's Adrenaline and Resolve. Something, Cody Rhodes going off to WWE. Whoa! They could probably do that. We'll see, though. No, it's not going to be Danhausen, Liam. Come on now. No, not going to be Hook either. Hook's too busy beating some New Japan jobber on Rampage later tonight. Spoiler alert. Anyway, moving on, we have Minoru Suzuki teaming up with the Sex Gods, Chris Jericho, and Sammy Guevara. In a 6-man tag team match against Eddie Kingston, Shota Umino, and Wheeler Yuta. Again, I'm not as familiar with the New Japan guy in this match who is not named Minoru Suzuki. Have heard and known about Minoru Suzuki for a very long time. And this sick freak, as The Rock would say, is an absolute nightmare. Look at that. Look how evil Minoru Suzuki looks in this photo. I mean, my God. It's going to be a wonderful trios match. I cannot wait for this. Liam just said, wait, Surf Rusty said Filthy Tom Lawler. No, it's not going to be Filthy Tom. No. My God. Anyway, but you guys are really making me crack up in the chat. Anyway, so Forbidden Door, we have this trios match. Look, I am a mark for Minoru Suzuki. I am going to be very clear and blunt with you. I was on Ango's show a few months ago talking about WrestleMania weekend. We were talking about the Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor event. And I called it. I said, have Minoru Suzuki win the Ring of Honor TV title, then have him lose it in a few weeks on Dynamite. That's what you got to do. Mainly because I wanted to see Minoru Suzuki have a big win, like win a title during this run he's been on in the United States. And I have become even more of a fan of Minoru Suzuki. I like forget Suzuki-gun for life, baby. I mean, come on now. But also you got to appreciate the work that Chris Jericho is doing lately with his wrestling, not on Twitter, with his wrestling. You got to appreciate the work that he's doing. I mean, he's going to throw a fireball in your face because he's a wizard. Only Chris Jericho can get some of the crap he spews over and have it be entertaining. The fact that Chris Jericho genuinely believes that he is a wizard is so funny to me. I mean, then you got Sammy Guevara, who I've been very, 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 very cold on his latest run and his latest gimmick. Is what it is. Hopefully they change it up a little bit and he kind of gets lost in the shuffle there with the Jericho Appreciation Society. Eddie Kingston and Wheeler Yuta. Okay, let's talk about these two. Eddie Kingston, absolute monster. We know what he is. He has fought every demon. He is like up. He's like arguably the most beloved wrestler in AEW. Who's more beloved than Eddie Kingston? Like the fans love this man because he's real. He's authentic. He does not fake, and he's a story that's so relatable to everyone. So. He's awesome. Wheeler Yuta, I loved watching Wheeler Yuta, and I watched like one of his matches in Clash in the tournament he was just in New Japan, and oh my God, like when I tell you that there's nobody like who in the past like 3 months who has just had the almost meteoric rise of someone like Wheeler Yuta. Like we knew he was good, but he never really got highlighted in a prominent way. And the fact that he's now just a badass ass kicker is the perfect thing for him. It's the best thing that could happen to his career because he's taken seriously. He's a threat. That Ring of Honor Pure Championship makes him look like a legit deal and a big deal too. And the fact that he's in this match, Shows you how far he's come. He's come a long way from carrying the best friend's bags backstage on Dynamite. I'll tell you that much. MGT in the chat says, the Wizard Chris Jericho, Le Champion, Les Six Gods. I love it. Surf Wrestling says, Eddie Kingston should call him a leprechaun. He'll get that over. Chris Jericho will wear the green hat and get that over. Surf Wrestling also says, Wheeler Yuta versus Kushida should have happened. Bro, we have time. This is, okay, look, Tony Khan's hinted at this. This is likely not going to be the final New Japan AEW show. I doubt it. This is a partnership that is going to continue on and should continue on. Liam in the chat says, Husky Harris to AEW. Could you imagine the I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit of a masochist. The fan backlash would actually be kind of hilarious. Surf Wrestling in the chat says, Wyndham Harris, hell no. Hell no to the no on some Bishop Bullwinkle shiznit. Anyway, who wins this match? Trios match. I am going ahead of Forbidden, or ahead of, because you also have to factor in that Blood and Guts is going to be this Wednesday as well, the Wednesday following this, and there's going to be that dynamic as well, and they're going to want to play it up a little bit. I think the heels are going to win this one to kind of give them a little momentum going in the match and give the babyface a little more motivation to beat the hell out of Chris Jericho and company. But, man, I want Minoru Suzuki to just dominate. Forget it all, Tony. Tony, listen to me. Well, okay, Tony, you and me right now, Tony Khan. If you can hear the sound of my voice, give Minoru Suzuki the AEW World Championship. I don't care if fans don't like it. I don't care if ratings drop. I don't care if you lose money. I don't care about any of that. Look at this man and tell me you're not going to give him the time. Look at him. He's like, is there anyone who looks more demonic right now than Minoru Suzuki? Like, look at that picture. He's scary. I love it. I love Minoru. Like, I'm a mark, guys. MGT in the chat says, Omer, don't you think that the Forbidden Door pay-per-view is happening a bit too early? Yeah, we didn't really talk about that. I'll actually talk about that after I make this prediction. Or actually, I already made the prediction, right? Yeah, Chris Jericho, Minoru, and Sammy Guevara will get the dub here. So let's talk about the actual timing of this pay-per-view, because I do think that that's an important point, MGT. So Forbidden Door is happening at a time where AEW just had a big pay-per-view at the end of May in Double or Nothing. And then on the back end of that, New Japan, I think 2 weeks ago, had Dominion, which saw a lot of shocking changes to the entire New Japan Pro Wrestling scene. And there's a lot of I mean, people are going to tune into this, but they've had basically 2 weeks to build up the show. They had people show up right after Forbidden or right after Double or Nothing, but in all seriousness, the real build of this show has been 2 weeks long, and I think part of that has been on purpose to kind of temper temptations and all that. But I mean, they could have done I don't know what the partnership is, and I understand that they wanted to get this done in June because I think New Japan has some other touring dates that they had in July. But this pay-per-view probably should have been somewhere in the middle of July. Like that would have been the sweet spot for everybody in this. I just don't think that was in the cards from the beginning, and they just kind of chose a date because that's the date that they could do it. That's also probably the date they could get the United Center. So sometimes that's just how it lands. But we'll see, guys. Surf Wrestling says, Omer's a savage. Yeah, I mean, it's what I am. Surf Wrestling also says, Forbidden Door is happening when Survivor Series used to happen. Is it? Was Survivor Series in July? No, it wasn't. Come on now. This is going to trend. MGT in the chat says, Omar, do you know about the match between Minoru Suzuki and Josh Alexander? Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. I know. Minoru Suzuki. I mean, this is the thing about Minoru Suzuki. He's just come to America, and he has had amazing, just entertaining-ass moments and matches with everybody, whether it be Jon Moxley, the Barn Burner. Watching Samoa Joe versus Minoru Suzuki hurt me. My chest was red watching that match. Joe's was purple. The bruising had already started 5 minutes into the match on Joe. Minoru Suzuki was bleeding from all those chops. And he just kept going. He did like the little Bruce Lee thing, like, and he was like, oh, come on, give me some more, buddy. I was like, what are you doing, you maniac? I loved it, though. I loved it. Amazing. Guys, let's keep this going, though. Let's keep it moving. We got some time till SmackDown. Oh, God. Okay, come on. Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy. I know a lot of people want to crap on the fact that it's Orange Cassidy taking on Will Ospreay, but if you look at, like, here's the thing. Whatever you want to say about Orange Cassidy, he is one of AEW's like biggest like transcendent stars, like a person who draws attention. Like, look at some of the AEW's most watched videos on YouTube. A lot of them are Orange Cassidy. You know why? Because he's just cool. He's recognizable. He's got that gimmick, and he can go in the ring, people. But Orange Cassidy versus Will Ospreay is going to be. I think people are going to crap on this match. I think it's going to be great because you're going to have Will Ospreay getting frustrated by an Orange Cassidy who just does not give a flying fudge at all. That being said, Will Ospreay will retain his IWGP United States Championship. That is going to be one in the loss column for AEW for sure. But it's not to say like this match or like this pay-per-view is not just about who's going to walk away with titles and all that stuff, but it is about watching entertaining-ass wrestling. That is what this is going to be. It's going to be all the best parts of pro wrestling, the funniness, the pure entertainment, the in-ring insanity that these two can pull off together. I'm telling you, watch out for this one. This could steal match of the night. There's a lot of matches you could say it about. This could be match of the night. Y'all let me know what you guys think, though. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Please hit that like button, though. It helps out the algorithm, helps the channel grow, and it helps my self-esteem. MGT in the chat says, Orange Cassidy's gimmick is that he's too cool for school. Absolutely. I mean, that's his gimmick. And here's the thing. Orange Cassidy's like one of those guys. He can eat the loss. Like, he's already a made guy. He can eat the loss. But that's what I think. Moving on, we have Bullet Club, the reuniting of Bullet Club and Dudes with Attitude. What the hell is that name? Again, I might be out of the loop on that one, but you're gonna have Bullet Club, El Fantasmo, Hikuleo, and the Unbucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, taking on Dudes with Attitude. Darby Allin, Sting, Shingo Takagi, and Takahashi. Woo! Oh my God, Hiromu Takahashi. I can't wait for this. Okay, so Shingo Takagi should be in a singles match on this pay-per-view. I'm sorry. I know Adam Cole is great. Jay White, great. Shingo Takagi should be in the New Japan in the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. I don't care what anyone says. Forget your feelings. Facts don't care about them. Shingo Takagi should have been in that match. It's a travesty that he is not in that match because that match would be so much better for it. Again, I don't care who you take out. He should have been in there. Fight me on that one, internet. Either way, look for the babyfaces to pick up the victory here. I think I know this whole collaborative really always comes back. Everything like in pro wrestling seems to always come back to the Bullet Club. Even in WWE right now, like all the stuff is coming back to Bullet Club. AJ Styles, Finn Balor, too sweet. Woo, too sweet. Anyway, it all come back to the Bullet Club, but I think they're gonna eat the loss here. There's gonna be some dissension within the Bullet Club, within the ranks of the Bullet Club. That's gonna be a story to watch out for in this pay-per-view as well. The dissension in the ranks of the Bullet Club, the alleged Bullet Club. You're going to see that rift of, the undisputed elite versus the Bullet Club. I want to see the Bullet Club, I'm sorry. We had Bullet Club Civil War. We need AEW CU Bullet Club Civil War. We need like that. We need the real Civil War. The AEW versus New Japan Bullet Club Civil War. Build it up for a year. Let's see a big time match at the end of the next year's Forbidden Door with Kenny Omega, with all the guys. Bring them all back. Let's go. Where's Bad Luck Fale? Where's Tama Tonga? Bring them back. Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, bring them all back. Let's have a Bullet Club Civil War pay-per-view and really sell some tickets here, folks. I think that's honestly what we're building up to because you're going to see, I think, similar things with that as well as the New Japan Pro or the IWGP World Title match. Like, you're going to see that dissension between Jay White and Adam Cole, baby. But yeah, I think the faces pick up the victory here, and we're going to hopefully get that dissension that I always love. Moving on, the most interesting match of the night. First, let me get to one of these chats. MGT in the chat says, the too sweet symbol is simply iconic. No, my friend. It is simply too sweet. Anyway, moving on. Winner take all. What a match this is going to be. Winner take all. The ROH and the IWGP Tag Team Championships on the line here. FTR versus the United Empire's Jeff Cobb and the Great O'Khan, and versus Roppongi Vice. Ladies and gentlemen, you can call it a bold prediction. You can call it a naive prediction. You can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it a spoiler. Roppongi Vice will walk away with both the Ring of Honor and the IWGP World Tag Team Championships by the end of the night. I promise you that. They are going to be double champions. This match is going to be amazing because you have three of the best tag teams in the world. Yes, Roppongi Vice, one of the best tag teams in the world. Fight me, internet. I'm marking out at the fact that this is actually happening. And here's the thing. Because I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, you can't take the titles off of FTR. Guys, we're building back up to an FTR Young Bucks feud. FTR will have something to chase. Guys, Roppongi Vice, like, here's my thing. You want to send AEW and New Japan fans home happy? Give him this moment. Give him this unifying moment of Roppongi Vice. One of the biggest reasons, by the way, that this partnership between AEW and New Japan exists is because of Rocky Romero. Like, his role has been instrumental in building this bridge in the first place. Because a lot of people, like, especially on the business side of New Japan, like, that for them, that bridge was broken the second that Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and Cody left to start AEW. But Rocky Romero has been a part of mending those fences and really building this bridge that has led to this wonderful event. And I think, I'm just saying, there's a gut feeling here. I think this would be like the fans' feel-good moment of the night. You know, Roppongi Vice finally, by God, finally being crowned world champions, because they held the junior tag team titles. Ain't nobody taking the junior tag team titles seriously. Give them the world titles. Let them have a run. And, like, let's reward Rocky Romero for doing some really great work. Like, come on. Also, best theme song. Come on. Of any tag team. Roppongi Vice. It's really nice. I got no ice. Something thrice does not suffice. Can't find anything else that rhymes with ice except for Tice. Roppongi Vice. Let's move on before I make even more of a fool out of myself, guys. Again, guys, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Keep those chats coming. Yes, he was. It was Rocky Romero. Rocky Romero was a part of Impact Wrestling at one point. Here we go. Fatal four-way title match for the inaugural AEW All-Atlantic Championship. Well, if you didn't see my thoughts on this title beforehand, go check out the last podcast we did. This title makes no sense. This is called the All-Atlantic World title, or sorry, the All-Atlantic Championship, right? The AEW All-Atlantic Championship. My biggest problem is not that they're adding another title necessarily. Like, okay, whatever. They add another. Okay, cool. UFC has like 1 billion titles. Like, WWE has 1 billion titles. That is less so my problem. My biggest problem with this title, it is called the All-Atlantic title, right? Homie, why are the flags of China and Japan on this title? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a title with the flags of China and Japan. That's fine. But don't call it the All-Atlantic title. Homie, look at a map, Tony Khan. Those countries do not touch the Atlantic Ocean. They've got nothing to do with the Atlantic. But also, look at the people in this match, right? Okay, you got Clark Connors. Okay, whatever, right? American. You got Pac. Okay, you got Malachi Black. Okay, Atlantic. Then you have Miro. Bulgaria does not touch the Atlantic, my guy. What is this? This makes no sense. This came up with a name. They just came up with a name. They're like, we're going to call it. This is like such a Vince McMahon thing to do, by the way. Like calling this title this. We're going to have a new title. And we're going to call it the All-Atlantic title. I like it, Mr. McMahon. Are there going to be people only from the Atlantic fighting for it? No, we're going to have people from Japan, people from China, people from Bulgaria. Everybody's going to fight for it. And why the hell is it called the All-Atlantic title, Mr. McMahon? Because I said so. China's in the Atlantic now. Japan's in the Atlantic. India, Pakistan, they're all in the Atlantic. I like it, Mr. McMahon. That's what happened here with Tony Khan, apparently. I don't know. like, come on now. I know MGT in the chat says, I don't really care what the title's called. I care about it. I do care about it. I'm sorry. Like, I like geography. I'm a nerd. I like geography. It's too big of a hurdle for me to make. Okay, you're supposed to suspend your disbelief in wrestling. Yes. You cannot tell me, and even in kayfabe, you cannot tell me that China is in the Atlantic. No, that's where I draw the line. All right, that's where I draw. You cannot tell me that Japan and China are in the Atlantic. That's where I draw the line here, guys. I'm just like, okay. There has to be some semblance of reality here. Like, come on. You can't shoot or sorry, you can't work a country being in a different ocean. Like, come on now. That's all I'm saying. Surf Wrestling in the chat says, maybe Tony Khan did it to troll Vince for the 24/7 title. Say what you want about the 24/7 title. At least the rules and what that title is are pretty clear. I mean, this is just, they just said all Atlantic. Could have made it anything. All global, all world, all galactic. Like the Continental title, you could have trolled Vince McMahon that way, but no, he really said the All-Atlantic title. Anyway, gonna be a great match. I'm excited to see what Clark Connors can do. That's the one guy that people have been telling me to watch, and I'm excited to watch him this Sunday night on pay-per-view. Clark Connors, Miro, Pac, and Malachi Black. All right. I'm going to go with Miro on this one because I think Miro is like on a hunt to get a title, and I think this is a perfect time to put one on him and make him, and it's a good title to put on him to have him just like show up and feel like a threat and feel important. Like that's what you want to do with someone like Miro. He can't be in the TNT title picture, so it's fine. You're doing something else right now. Make him the All-Atlantic champion, whatever the hell that means, right? Even though Bulgaria isn't in the Atlantic, whatever. That being said, I think Pac and Malachi Black are going to be like, they're probably going to factor themselves out of this match. So Miro and I'm excited to see what Miro and Clark Connors can do, honestly. So we'll see what happens there. Next, we have the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Jay White, the reigning defending IWGP champion, versus Kazuchika Okada, the former champion who Jay White just beat at Dominion, versus Hangman, not Hangman, Hangman Adam Page, versus Adam Cole, baby. To say this match is going to be crazy, to say this match is going to be insane, to say this match is going to be bonkers, all are an understatement. You have four of the best pro wrestlers in the entire world. You have Kazuchika Okada. You have Adam Cole, he's a wrestling machine. You have Hangman Adam Page, who's had some of the best, most underrated wrestling matches week in, week out. And you have the Switchblade Jay White, who ain't no slouch, folks. Ooh, am I excited for this match, guys? Oh my god, like this is gonna be pen. I'm gonna be jumping in and out of myself. Oh my god, like I'm not gonna be doing a live stream for it, but I really wish I was. This is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be insane. And you know what's gonna happen? Jay White's gonna walk out with the IWGP World Title. You know why? Because we're already gonna have a title change. We're gonna have a title crown. We're gonna have two titles crowned. They're not gonna switch this title. That's just basic logic. The other thing is, I just think that the other money match you're gonna have is Hangman Adam Page versus Kazuchika Okada, and then the other money match you want to have is Adam Cole versus Jay White. So I don't know. It's just there's multiple reasons for this. I'm just excited. I'm excited for this match. I'm sorry, guys, but let me know who you guys think is gonna win this match. Who's gonna walk away with the IWGP World Title as we start to wind down because I know SmackDown is going to start in just a little bit. Oh, whoopsies. That was on me, folks. Oh, do I not have the other? Whoops. Oh. Whoopsies, guys. My bad on that one. Let's see if we can. There we go. Here we go. Technical difficulties subsided, my fam. Um. Anyway, so after this, we have Thunder Rosa defending the AEW Women's World Championship against Toni Storm. Neither of these women right now are competing in New Japan Pro Wrestling. However, it's going to be a good match. Does it have a build? Not really. Most women's matches in AEW don't, because AEW just cannot book women's wrestling consistently. It's a fact. I'm sorry, AEW fans. I'm also an AEW fan, and you can say that. You can criticize things you like. That being said, these are two of the best women's wrestlers in the world, or two of the best wrestlers in the world, period. And they're going to go out there and have a great match. Are they going to change? Is the title going to change hands? Absolutely not, because they haven't given me a reason for it to change hands. They really haven't. Like, this match was just kind of made on the fly. Is what it is. Rosa's going to win. I think is it going to be strong? I don't know, but Rosa's going to win. Surf Wrestling in the chat says, Omar, let's go off topic real quick. If Ricochet debuted at NXT, Great American Bash, and Triple H is definitely back. Triple H is back, isn't it? Triple H is back. Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading something else. So the whole thing about Triple H being back, it's unclear exactly what that is. Like, people I know reported it as him being, like, he was at the Performance Center and he did say, I'm back. Does that mean that he's back in the day-to-day operations of the Performance Center? I'm not sure. Does that mean he's back in the front office as the in the executive office of the WWE corporate headquarters? I think that's more likely. I don't know if his health is in. I don't know if he's in good enough health, honestly, to be running like day-to-day creative and things like that for even NXT, because it's a very stressful job to be dealing with all of that. But if Ricochet does show up, I think that's pretty good evidence that Triple H has at least some sway, at least a lot more sway than he used to, because he was out. It was a long time, for almost a year. He's been out. Like they deliberately moved him away and removed his power from there. So that's what it is. Anyway, Thunder Rosa retaining the title. And finally, speaking of titles, the interim AEW World Championship is going to be decided in a match between Hiroshi Tanahashi and Jon Moxley. You want to talk about dream matches, AEW New Japan dream matches? This is it. For 3 years, Jon Moxley been calling out Hiroshi Tanahashi. For 3 years, Jon Moxley has said that there's one guy he's wanted to face in New Japan for a while, and it's Hiroshi Tanahashi. For 3 years, there's one guy that Jon Moxley's been saying has been ducking him, and it is Hiroshi Tanahashi. And we are finally getting it. The stare down they had, the promo that he cut on Tanahashi was impeccable. It built this matchup as much as it needed to be, because, I mean, like, this is already a dream match for people who've been paying attention. And I'm just excited to see it. I'm just, like this is going to be magic. And it's going to be fun. You know why? Because you have two of the best in the world. Like, I said that about a lot of these matches, I know, but, like, legitimately, these are two biggest stars. One of the biggest stars in New Japan, arguably the biggest star outside of maybe CM Punk in AEW. Like, magic is going to happen. MGT in the chat says, it's so sad that there's only one women's match with the lack of build on most of this card. Yeah, so I mean, those are two problems. I mean, here's the thing. The issue with New Japan and women's matches that really came up here is the whole thing, because New Japan doesn't have women's wrestling. Like, that they have a different promotion for that called Stardom. So I understand that. Should they have more Stardom people on this show? Absolutely. I know Stardom already has a show that day, so that's part of the complications. I mean, that could go better with planning next time, but they have to do it. They have to integrate the Stardom women on the show. Like, they can't do it now, but they have to. They should have done it. They should have found a way to make it work, but they got to do it next time. 100%, I agree with that. I mean, again, overall the build has not been great. I think we could all agree on that. Uh, anyway, Tanahashi, Moxley, AEW interim world title. Who wins? It's Jon Moxley. I love Tanahashi. And if this wasn't for the interim AEW World Championship, if this was just a straight wrestling match, I'd pick Tanahashi. If this was for no stakes, I'd pick Tanahashi. This is for the interim title. Would it be interesting as hell to see Tanahashi on AEW for a few weeks as a champion? Hell yeah. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think that Jon Moxley is going to win this, and he is going to hold it until there's that title unification match between himself and CM Punk, whenever it is, whether it's an All Out, whether it's at Grand Slam, whether it's at Full Gear, whether it's at Revolution next year. You never know. CM Punk's got a broken foot. He's going to be out for a few months. But if there's one guy that we know like is going to be able to steady the waters while Punk is gone, it's this guy and Jon Moxley. Like, that's what this is all about. Having a champion, having someone you can push, having someone who can have great matches in and out. And Jon Moxley never had that chance. Remember, Jon Moxley was almost his entire reign. Like, he won at Revolution 2020, and then like what was it, like 2-3 weeks after he won, COVID pandemic shut everything down. They went into doing shows at Daly's Place, no fans, and that was the entire reign. That was his entire reign. It was basically in front of, like, first no fans, and then, like, you know, a handful, like literally a handful of people that would show up at Daly's Place. And then he lost to Omega under very questionable circumstances. So, is there a guy that we want to see have a second reign? Yeah, it's Jon Moxley. Like, that's the guy. And I want to see what he can do. Like, the crowds are going to be insane for him when he's the champion. Like, that's also what it comes down to as well. Oh, man. AEW, Forbidden Door, as Tony Khan says, the Forbidden Door is wide. The F open, everyone. Guys, I've had so much fun talking about this show. I know we went through this quick and everything. We got SmackDown coming up in a little bit. But I just want to talk about how, like again, I said this before WrestleMania. Like, there's a lot of things we can critique, and rightfully so. I think the lack of women's wrestling on this show is not good. I think the fact that the build was like 2 weeks, not great. It's not good for building your pay-per-view. And are pay-per-view numbers going to suffer because of that? I think so. I personally think so. Like, they're not going to sell as many pay-per-views, I think, or like as they probably should. But we'll have to see what happens. I hope they do. I hope it's a successful show. I say this about every show. I hope it's successful. I hope the wrestlers make a lot of money. Like, that's my main. I hope they make money because all of them earned it. All of them will have earned it. But here's the thing: we can criticize it, right? We can do all those criticisms that I just mentioned, but at the same time, when the show's live, just sit back and enjoy. This is going to be one of those nights. It's an exhibition. It's going to be fun. Treat this like you would watch WrestleMania. It is just going to be fun. Like, storylines, yeah, sure, but it's going to be fun. You're going to have your story elements. You're going to have your fun elements. You're going to have your crazy elements. You're going to have your insane wrestling. You're going to have just have fun watching this, guys. But yeah, let me know if you guys are excited about AEW Forbidden Door. I know Surf Wrestling is. I know MGT is, or hopefully he is after this. Liam, of course, always good to see you. I'm not going to do the 27 in your name anymore because apparently I get called out if I do. But thank you all for joining, guys. Again, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, open that forbidden door, get yourself a snack, and keep it real.